Are you guys going out to Los Angeles Thursday?
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna leave Thursday. Last year, the West Coast trip to Washington, we felt like a little groggy, a little slow start. Guys played well, but felt like it just needed a little time. Did talk to a lot of people in the offseason. Obviously, having Wink here, NFL background, so we're gonna leave Thursday. We're gonna do everything normal on Thursday. I know guys probably would want to leave early Thursday, but they need to go to class. Still student athletes, so they'll go to class, do all that, and then we'll leave Thursday, be there Friday. We'll get a chance to practice at the Bolt, which is cool. So I know they got an away game, but so that's another great Michigan connection, Michigan West. So we'll leave Thursday, get there Friday, spend all day Friday, and make it as normal as possible for the kids, and then play on Saturday.
On the left there, Isaiah.
Piggybacking off of that, why is it so challenging to, especially for student athletes, to be able to travel a couple time zones and still kind of play at the high level?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing like when you travel just in general, when you're going time zones and you're adjusting on the clock and you're adjusting through the air, air, flying dehydrates you. That's one thing, and then you got to recover a little bit more. So I think it's just different atmospheres, not necessarily just being away. So I think it's just a challenge you have to attack, because if you go to the NFL, you got to do the same thing, and the team's flying this way, got to adjust as well. So I think you can't make those things an excuse. You just got to go attack them and figure out ways to get better with it. So that's why we're flying out Thursday, to hopefully have a better grasp on trying to make that like it's Ann Arbor over there.
On the right here, Tony.
Yeah, before one about USC, I just had one about this past weekend. I mean, obviously, people talked about the drops, but also Donovan making plays, Andrew making plays, so there are guys who can do it. And
Yeah.
Bryce has showed touch and layering passes in as well.
Yeah.
But it feels like some of his passes underneath come in pretty hot. Do you see that at all, or is there any discussion about maybe some of those?
I mean, I never played receiver or tight end, but I know our guys don't make an excuse about where the ball is and how it's coming and all that. We just know we got to make the plays when they're there, and if it hits your hands, you should catch it. So Bryce will continue to get better and touch and all that and all those things, but he seems pretty accurate to me. So we'll just continue to emphasize the accuracy of the football and us being consistent catchers. But yeah, I mean, to add the Donovan McCulley career game here, I think first receiver over 100 yards since Purdue in 23. Just continuing to make big plays, doing what we thought he could, and doing it at a high level, making some acrobatic catches, some high point catches, yards after catch, and then same thing with Andrew Marsh, kind of what we echoed what we thought was going to happen, and played consistent, played fast, played physical. So happy with how those guys played, and Samaj had the drop, but he also had some really big plays, and all those guys are really stepping up. So excited for the group and what they're doing.
And then as far as USC, I mean, you guys have already played a couple very potent offenses. Statistically, this might be the best of the bunch, I guess. What do you see in your early scouting?
Yeah, explosive. Mekhi Lemon is explosive as any receiver you'll see in the country. Jacoby Lane, same, big, strong, physical. The two tight ends are explosive. Lincoln really wants to run the football and then play action and RPO and do things off of it. And then the quarterback does a really good job of taking care of the football for the most part. I think that was his first pick in the last game against Illinois. So we got to do a good job of really controlling the line of scrimmage up front first. And they've got a really good O-line, but I feel like we got a really good D-line. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a four-quarter battle in the Coliseum, which we're really excited about.
On the left, John.
Yeah, could you have foreseen in camp what Cole Sullivan has been able to do so far this year, and what is it about his instincts and the physicality that has put him here?
I could have, yeah. I said, and I remember media day. Someone asked me who's the guy that I think's gonna have a breakout year. I said Cole Sullivan. He's the guy that we've seen since spring ball do this, and he just continued to do it in fall camp. So proud of him, because he's just such a hard worker. He's such a great human being. Just puts his head down and does it right all the time, on the field, off the field. So, yeah, I could be Nostradamus in those terms of predicting Cole Sullivan, but he made it easy because of his work and what he's done and how he attacks everything physically and mentally.
On the right here, Aaron. Aaron?
This time last year, you guys were 4-1 heading west, and then things went south. How do you make sure that doesn't happen this year?
It's this year, not last year, and we're not. Last year there was a lot of lessons that we learned from, and I think the first one, like we're doing different here, is traveling. Just the first thing's traveling on Thursday, but this is a different team. I think with a different mindset and different focus, and we understand we're in the second quarter of the season, and all we got to do is take care of today. Can't even worry about the game yet. We got to worry about what does today bring and how we're going to get better today. So I think that team is different from the one that we got now.
And then what's your understanding of the advantages of going out there with players?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like when you travel recruiting. You travel recruiting, you go out there for a day, and then you leave the next day. It's like you don't really understand where you're at, what day it is, and all the things happen. So I think those guys getting some time in a place, usually you don't travel out, a day before for an away game, but you also don't travel that many time zones. So allowing them some time to, one, sleep, because we're going to get there later. So sleep in that day, and then have another day to get used to that time. It's going to be huge for us.
Back there, Charles.
Yeah, what do you think the defense can do to get up to better starts and avoid giving up those opening drive touchdowns?
I think the number one thing we talked about, Wink brought up as soon as it happened, was tackle. It was tackling the ball carrier, finish on the ball carrier. We're trying to get the ball out all the time, but you got to get the ball carrier down first, and it's little pieces, little things. The first play, if one person is underneath the blitz instead of outside the blitz, it stopped. So what I admire and I love about our defensive guys, coaches and players, that there's never a panic, and they just adjust and go. They just adjust and go. And right after that drive, it was 8 punts and interception. So. And then the field goal at the end. And even for that field goal, that drive down the end, that just tells you what this team's all about. It's okay, we're going to play till the end of the game, and held them to the field goal, knocked them out of close field goal, or knocked them out of maybe even trying to go for a touchdown with the sack, and just kept playing. So really proud of that defense and how they played. And you watch the film, they're physical, they are tenacious, they're fast. They want to hit you, and it's fun to be a part of and fun to watch.
On the left, Anthony.
After the rewatch, how did you feel the coverages looked on Saturday, and how much of that was just Rod being out there?
Oh, man. The coverages were tight. Had a couple. We talked about the tackling, which we cleaned up, we fixed, and there was maybe one or two plays throughout the whole game. You're like, man, that could have been a little tighter, that could have been a little bit better, but they're in sync, and it helps when you got a good rush. It helps when you got guys getting to the ball. It helps when you can scheme guys open on blitzes. But those guys are doing a really good job of just handling coverages. Now this is going to be a different challenge this week, right? This is different receivers. And I thought Wisconsin's receivers were underrated. They got some good players. Number 8 and 4, they're good receivers, but our guys did a really good job of handling them. But it'll be a big challenge this week for us.
Alejandro.
After what he did against Wisconsin, is it fair to say that Andrew Marsh has earned more opportunities moving forward, and who else is in that battle for that third?
Yeah, 100%. He definitely has earned that right with 4 catches for I think 80, and 4 targets on those 4 catches. So yeah, absolutely, he's earned all the right to continue playing, continue to do what he's been doing, and we'll see. It's still open competition for everybody else. Channing will still compete. Obviously Samaj's in there competing. Kendrick Bell, Jamar Browder's a guy where we think. We've been talking about him, about how his ability, so you can see him start to get in the mix a little bit. So we'll see this week and how those guys compete. But yeah, 100%, Andrew Marsh has definitely earned the right to be a starter and play.
In the front right here, Austin.
On Zapata's miss, it looked like maybe the snap hold wasn't perfect. Is there anything you've been able to pick up about why that unit hasn't been consistent this year?
Yeah, I think that on that play, exactly what it was. It was a low snap, and then Huddy did a good job of getting it down. But there's a rhythm to it, rhythm to kicking, rhythm to how you do it. So there's got to be timed up. So we've got to fix that, and we're attacking that head on like we do every other problem. So we'll continue to work on that.
In the back there, Zach.
You talked a little bit about the secondary just last week and this upcoming week, and through the offseason you guys talked a lot about a positionless defense. How did you just evaluate the secondary and how they've grown throughout this year and kind of mixing a bunch of guys? Yeah,
great. I mean, we play so many guys in the whole defense, first of all, but in the secondary, especially in Lamar does a great job with those guys, and Coach Stokes and B-Hawk, and obviously Wink on how he calls it. But doing a really good job of mixing coverages, mixing looks, and helping guys whenever they need to be helped, and doing things that we need to do to just be a successful defense. And guys are really challenging each other. Jaden's challenging all the older guys. The older guys are challenging the younger guys. So it's great competition to have, because if you don't practice well, you're probably not going to play. And that's what you want. You want that competition throughout the year.
And one of those guys competing on the line is Cam Brandt. What have you just seen from his competitiveness and
Yeah.
still going at it, will be kind of a depth or rotation player?
Yeah, consistent. Those guys up front, they all play a lot. I think we played 59 plays on defense the last game, and you probably cut it all in half every room. You just cut it in half. This guy gets about 30, this guy gets about 29, this guy gets about 28. So and then we have packages where different guys play. So that's everybody has a chance to go make plays, and he's just done a really good job in his role and what he's done, and continues to be successful. I know he'll be hyped this week. We're going back home, going back to Cali, so he'll be geeked up this week. I think I asked him last week how many tickets he's going to need this week. He said, I'm going to need a lot. So I'm sure he'll be ready to go, and as well as the other guys.
In the back right there, Dennis.
What's El Hadi and Hanson's chances of playing against USC?
Yeah, I think both are probable. That's where I'd state them right now. So we'll see as we go through the week. Feel good about their status and where they're going to be, but we'll just progress as we go through the week.
How do you feel about the offensive line overall? It seems like they had some really good moments on Saturday, and then some challenges too.
Yeah, consistency, and it's all very fixable things that we can correct, whether it's a front side base block on 2 plays, whether it's just the idea of where we're going, and it's nothing earth-shattering that you have to fix, but what you do love to see is the big plays and the big holes happening. That means it's there, the progression's there, and you still rush for 175 yards with justice, and you feel like, dang, there's so much more out there. So continue to grow, continue to get better, and I think if you can get Gio back and Brady Norton back too, that's going to help you even more with 2 guys that are starter quality players.
In the front here, Ryan.
I was trying to ask about the O-line too, but
Yeah.
what do you expect the starting offensive line to look like on Saturday?
Yeah, we'll see. Right now it'd be the guys that we're playing, but I think if Gio and Brady can go, they'll challenge. Obviously, Gio's a starter, and we'll see what Brady can do to push a guy to get his spot back.
Tony.
This team is really good at sort of insulating itself and not looking outside, but
It's great, isn't it? We just stay in this little cocoon. I love it.
but you are underdogs this week in some perception. I guess
That's great.
The only other time that happened was Oklahoma. I guess how do you feel about that?
I don't care. That stuff don't matter to me. It's great. I don't even know the people that make the whatever they call it, the odds, whatever it is. So we can be underdogs, we can be favorites, it could be whatever. It doesn't matter to me. So I know we're playing a good team, and we got to be ready to go play. That's all I know. So regardless if we're underdogs and guys might look at that, that's great, but it don't matter. The lines don't matter, the logos don't matter. Nothing matters but the people playing on the field and us being prepared for the game. So that stuff's great. It's great. It's a great story, I guess, and they'll use it on ESPN or something, but I don't care about that. So.
All right, we got time for a few more, so I'm gonna try and get through these. Aaron.
Justice Haynes, when you guys were looking at him.
Animal.
I mean,
He should be up for the Heisman.
his
Start
opportunities were limited.
doing it.
What did you see on film that made you think he could be this good, and has he exceeded your expectations at all?
Yeah, I mean, 5th game with 100+ yards. Is he the first running back in Michigan history to do that?
Nah, Blake did it a few years ago.
Dang it.
8.
In a row in the first 5 games?
Blake did 8
Oh, he's a beast too. Yeah, he was just here.
in a row.
He's a,
First in his 5th year.
yeah, he's pretty good. This dude is, what you saw on film is an explosive player, because I remember we were watching him, and I can't remember what the team was, but he ran over somebody and then he took it like another 60 yards or something, and then I think he had the most explosive runs on their team. So yeah, I saw it, I knew it, and obviously Tony had a relationship with him. As soon as he called, as soon as he got in the portal, the first person he called was Tony. And and what you saw even more is when he got here in the spring, just telling you, he never got caught. ever. I remember Wink saying, well, I'm glad he's on our team, because he never got caught whenever he had those explosive runs. So, but he's consistent. He works his tail off. He's a great human being. He's becoming a leader in the right ways. So, yeah, I'm glad we got Justice Haynes on our team.
Sam?
Can you say a little bit more about Jamar Browder and what he could bring to that room?
Yeah, we'll see. Just first of all, he's about 6'3.5", 6'4", 200-something pounds. He's got great ball skills. He's fast. The biggest thing is just understanding the concepts and learning where to go and how to do it. We'll continue to help him with that. So we wanted big receivers, man. It was something we've really attacked as we've gone through this process of getting bigger, and obviously see what happened with McCulley, having a guy like that. So, putting Jamar in places to help him. And he's a freshman too, right? So we'll see what he does and how he practices this week, and that'll determine the game plan.